to Coffee, Credit, and Conversations with Clifton Coretta. My name is Coretta Farrar.
And my name is Clifton Farrar.
We're so excited today for you guys to be tuning into our show. We have a special guest here today, Robin Tolliver Ayatunde. That's with Tolliver Gray Insurance, and she is going to be participating a little later on in our conversation. But today, our topic is 7 easy ways to improve your credit. Now, before Cliff and I get started with this topic, we kind of want to lay a backdrop. Cliff, can you kind of lay a backdrop on what do you think has people worried or afraid to address the credit word?
Well, the thing is the word itself. People don't take the time to learn about credit. So when you don't know something, is unfamiliar territory, so it becomes scary to you. But the only way to conquer that is for you to actually learn about it. The more you know about something, the less you are afraid of it. So you have to confront it. And be honest with you, you created this credit score.
Absolutely.
It's your credit score. You made those purchases, or you didn't pay off something, or however it was, it's you. So don't be afraid of something that you created. This is your baby. This is how you can take care of it, or you can let it fall apart. So that's the first thing I think people need to do, is just actually address the elephant in the room. Let me look at my credit.
Absolutely. And that kind of ties in, Cliff, a little bit about what we want to talk about tonight, is the 7 easy ways to improve your credit. And one of the easiest ways to improve your credit is to actually order your credit report. So Cliff and I own a financial service company called Farrar Financial Group. And what we realize with a lot of our clients on a day-to-day basis is that they come into our office and they say, I have bad credit. And we say, well, how do you know that? And they'll say, I tried to buy something and I couldn't get approved for it. Well, that is an indicator. But a lot of times our clients are afraid of something that they don't know anything about. So it's kind of that false evidence appearing real. They have an indication that the credit is bad, but no concrete information. So I tell people, documentation beats conversation any day. So we can conversate about your credit all day, but until we have a document showing what's on your credit, showing what's affecting the score, then really that conversation means nothing. So the first thing that we ask people to do is order a copy of their credit report.
Yes.
And you can easily order a free credit report from www.annualcreditreport.com. And we'll repeat that again throughout the show. But the first thing in fixing your credit is, before you can attack a problem, you first have to understand what the problem is. So, Cliff, can we talk a little bit about people fighting in the dark?
Well, they're guessing.
Guessing.
We played a guessing game.
Absolutely.
We played a guessing game with our credit, played a guessing game with our money. Well, maybe, sure, I don't know, I think it's around, maybe, but instead of you having the concrete evidence there. So, the best thing is to have the concrete evidence, have the paperwork, have your credit score there, so you can go over and look at it and find out what's actually on your credit report.
Absolutely. And you can order that credit report, and when you know what's on it, then you can have a better way of addressing the issue. So the first step, you guys, is make sure that you order a credit report and that you get it from a source that is very productive, and the source is very accurate. The second thing that you can do to easily improve your credit is you can, after you order the report, correct any type of inaccuracies or anything that's wrong. So do you know, out of 10 Americans that you see per day, 9 people deal with an issue as it relates to identity theft? So the first thing you have to do is make sure that everything on that report belongs to you. Make sure that every line item is a purchase that you know about. Make sure that if you paid something off, that it's reflecting that. Making sure that your name is spelled correctly, your address is correct. Yes. The first actual indication of identity theft is addresses that you never lived at showing up on your credit report. Making sure that your current employer is a place that you actually worked at. Your birthday is correct. Your first and last name is not only correct, but it's spelled correctly. You know how many John Does there are, or how many James Jones, or how many Teresa Smiths? So a lot of times your name is very popular. Yeah. And as a result of that, you can have things on your credit that doesn't actually belong to you.
Yeah, that actually happened with us, because my father is Clifton Farrar Sr. I'm Clifton Farrar Jr. And my father had heart condition. And some of his medical bills were showing up on my credit report because our names are similar. They were not truly checking the Social Security numbers. So they were just looking at the names. And so they would just, because sometimes when I would fill out stuff, I don't add junior. So it just automatically came to me. And we didn't know until we ordered our credit score and say, hey, I've never been in a hospital for this X amount of money or this amount of days. And to find out it belonged to my father when we verified the Social Security number. So correct those inaccuracies. That is so important.
Absolutely. The next thing that we want to talk about, or the third thing, is when something is on the report that's negative, face it. So a lot of times, Robin, and this is kind of where we're going to bring you into the conversation a little bit, and I told you Robin is our special guest, but I want her to kind of speak during this time, is that a lot of times we have negative items on our credit report. And as a result of those negative items on the credit report, we think that they're going to magically disappear. So I'll give an example of that: medical bills. And so medical bills, we think they're going to disappear, and that we're going to, not have to deal with it, or I'm not going to face this right now. But only what you face gets fixed. And so a lot of times we have to have the courage, right? So when we're fixing negative things on our credit report, it's an internal battle that we deal with, right, on the inside. And that internal battle that we deal with on the inside, Cliff and Robin, is, you know what? How do I face this mountain of debt that I owe when I really don't have the money to pay for it? How do I be a public success but a financial private failure? And those are the things that people have to deal with that make negative items very difficult to be able to address. But for you to really improve your credit, you have to face you. And facing you sometimes can be the most difficult thing.
Yes.
I agree.
It could be the most difficult thing. And how do you face you? How do you face you when you know that you created this mess, yet you're on the other side saying that I want to be freed from it? But you are the one who started the problem. Right? And so a lot of times with credit restoration starts in the mindset first.
It's an internal thing.
It's an internal
Everything that you have is a thought. Everything is a thought.
It's a thought.
Everything.
And how you look at it.
How you look at
will
it.
determine the outcome of that thought.
Your perception is your reality.
Absolutely. It's
So
your
if
reality.
you perceive it as being insurmountable, if you perceive it as I can't do this or I can't overcome it, then guess what? It's not going to be done. You have to believe in it more than anyone else. And so before your creditors can believe in it, you have to believe in it. So you sit down and you make those steps, one step at a time. The problem is we want to jump over everything in one big leap, but you have to take those small steps. So you go ahead, face what you have created, and the ones you can handle at that moment, then handle it. Everybody should have 3 goals: immediate goals, short-term goal, and long-term goal. And everything you do, have those. So the things you can handle right then and there, handle them. The things that might take 6 months, handle them in that 6 months period. Some things might take 1 year to 2 years, depending on what the debt is. So handle it accordingly. So that's the best way to attack that situation.
Absolutely.
One thing Coretta said is that she sees medical bills as a credit issue. So the one way that I would suggest that people handle their medical bills is to avoid them. And the way you could avoid your medical bills is by making sure that you have health insurance. So one way of doing that is to sign up for your medical benefits through the Affordable Care Act. So a lot of times people have medical bills because they use the emergency room as a doctor's office visit. And the reason they do that is because they don't have insurance, or they don't understand how to use their insurance properly. So one way that you can change your credit as it relates to medical bills is to use your medical insurance properly. If you have medical insurance through the Affordable Care Act, you can go and have your preventative services instead of using the emergency room where they charge you $250 to $300 a pop. You can spend $10 to $15 to visit your medical provider.
Absolutely. And that actually helps us segue a little bit into Robin being our special guest today. Earlier in the show, I explained to you that Robin is our special guest, and she has 2 organizations. She has a for-profit organization called Tolliver Gray, and she has a non-profit organization called Just In Case Enrollment Center. And being that we're 29 days away from open enrollment, and being that medical bills, believe it or not, is one of the most highly effective items that hinder people from having a good credit score, I thought it would be great for us to have Robin on today to talk about the importance of the Affordable Care Act in these next 29 days. What does that mean? How sometimes we think that we have one set of health care coverage and we actually have something else, or we have what we actually are paying for but don't understand it ourselves. So Robin is going to explain to us a little bit about that today, and that ties into credit, because like I said, when we look at credit reports, 60% of most people's credit reports are medical bills. From either being sick, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, of either just having, not knowing what they have, the co-pays that they're responsible for, and those things affect the credit report. So Robin, tell us a little bit about Tolliver Gray, Just In Case. Tell us a little bit about your experience in the industry and how you're ramping up for this upcoming enrollment center and upcoming affordable care, healthcare enrollment center, and also Robin does over 65 Medicaid as well, or Medicare. So Robin, give us a little bit of backdrop on that.
Well, first I would like to say thank you both, Cliff and Coretta, for having me on your show today. I am very honored and humbled to be your first guest. So I want to start there. So my name is Robin Tolliver Ayatunde, and I am the owner of Tolliver Gray Insurance Agency, and I am the founder of Just In Case Enrollment Center. My background, you guys, is health insurance. I used to work for Cigna Healthcare for 12 years, and that was my first introduction into healthcare. Health insurance or health benefits is my passion, and it's for many reasons. I have aging parents, so that sparks my interest in knowing how their coverage works and how we can protect their nest egg from medical expenses. And because I am a breast cancer survivor, I am passionate about women's issues and preventive services. So when I spoke with Coretta about the issues she see on people's credit reports, and it was health benefits, I thought the best way to tackle that is through education. So the Affordable Care Act became law in 2010. And lately, you guys, you may have heard a lot about it on the news because it's replace, repeal, replace, repeal. Well, that has not happened yet. So for 2018, we are still going to have the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. So everyone needs to know that the enrollment period time has changed. When it first started, we started in October and went all the way to March. This year, you can only enroll November 1st to December 31st. So it's a very short window. In North Carolina, we have Blue Cross Blue Shield. But it's important for everyone to understand that there are at least 4 different selections, 4 metallic selections, and 1 local hospital for CMC, and 1 for Presbyterian Novant. So what I like to communicate to people is the price is one thing. Typically, people look for the cheapest way to get their health insurance. But what you really need to look at is how you use your health benefits and how you're going to use your health benefits. So if you pay a low premium but you don't have benefits that you need, then it was not worth the low premium that you paid. You may want to pay a little more and make sure that you can actively use your benefits so that you could avoid going to the emergency room. You can have a primary care doctor that has a record of your medical conditions so that they could track what's going on with you and you can get proper services.
So you're saying cheaper is not always better?
Cheaper is not always better. You pay for what you get.
You pay for what you get.
Yes.
And so this is very important what Robin is saying, because a lot of times people have medical bills on their credit report and the first thing they say is, I have insurance. Right?
Yes.
And they don't understand that the insurance only covers a certain portion. So, Robin, can you tell us, while people are out here, and I want you to give your phone number, how people can get in contact with you and all of that, but can you explain right now to the people who are listening and viewing us, what do you need to really look for when you're picking a plan for the Affordable Care Act?
You need to think about your deductible and your out-of-pocket. So those are 2 words that may sound foreign to some people, but the deductible is actually the amount of money you pay before the insurance company goes into co-insurance with you, right? So it may be 80-20, 60-40, 70-30, right? So you want to know what portion you need to pay in before the insurance company starts paying. Your out-of-pocket is the maximum amount of money you could pay in a calendar year for your benefits. And that's important because if you are a sickly person, you would need to know that, for example, if my out-of-pocket benefit was $5,000, when I pay $5,000 out of pocket, the insurance company is going to start paying at 100%. So the things you need to look at are your copay for when you see your doctor, and if your plan is a deductible plan or a co-insurance plan.
Okay, awesome. Well, this is what I want all the viewers and listeners to know, is that Robin, actually, it does not cost anything for her to advise you or help you as it relates to picking a plan on the affordable health care or any type of health care plan that they want to do.
That's
so
correct.
Robin, with that being said, I know a lot of times people are concerned about cost. So we're taking costs off the table. It does not cost you anything to call Robin to be able to get her to help you pick a plan that works good for you, because at the end of the day, cheaper is not always better, because even though you're paying cheap now, you pay big bucks later.
Yes.
And not only big bucks later, but it affects the credit score. So you will hear some people say, as a loan officer, medical bills won't stop you from getting a home. It will not. But the score, if your score isn't a 640 or better, then it still stops you. If those medical bills are hitting your credit report and dropping your score, it's like 2 eggs in the same basket, okay? So we want to make sure that you understand that. And like I said, out of 100 credit reports that we look at a week, over 75 or 80, 60% of the collections on that account are medical bills. And so that's why we thought it was so important. And a lot of people sit in front of us every day, Robin, and they say these 3 words: I have health care.
Yes.
And they don't realize that there's a piece behind that they need to be aware of. So, Robin, can you please give out your name, your phone number? How can the viewers and listeners get in contact with you? Because these 29 days are going to go by really quickly.
Yes, they are. My phone number is 704-970-9075. Again, that's 704-970-9075. 9075, yes. And also I can be reached at my website, which is www.tollivergray.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So you guys, before we end the show, Robert is going to again give out that information, but we want to make sure that you understand the importance of healthcare. This season is really quick. Robert, can you give us the dates for this season? Isn't it pretty quick this year?
We are 29 days away. It starts November 1st and it ends December 31st. So it's a very short window.
Okay, perfect. All right, so it's a very short window. So don't waste time. Don't be a late bug and be late all the way around. Make sure you get in contact with Robin. Again, her services are free, Free, to be able to come in and get information and for to help you get a plan. All right, and so Robin can maybe help some people that may need subsidies and those type of things, have health care. So please give her a call and don't wait till the last minute. Get on her books now because she's a very busy lady, and we want to make sure that she gets people in and get them out so they can get the services that they need. All right. So with that being said, so as we tied that in there, the fifth thing that we want people to be aware of, so we tied in Robin into negative items that are on the credit report, and we tied that piece in because medical bills are so heavy. So the next we have about 3 more that we want to go through with you that's going to explain, and we're going to do that pretty quickly so we can make sure to give you our phone numbers and how you can get in contact with us at the end of the show. The next one is that we do not want you to close any credit cards that you have. So what people do is they pay off their debt, and what do they do, Cliff?
Close their credit cards.
Close their credit cards. And when they do that, the score goes down drastically. So I tell people, if you're not disciplined enough to not touch your credit card, cut it up. Give it to your friend. Give it to someone that can hold it for you, but don't close the account. The next thing is we want you to avoid applying for anything new. So we have a saying, you can't be the Jones when your last name is Jiggett, right? So I like to tell people that because it's important. You can't keep up with the Joneses when your last name is Jiggett. So that means is that going out here and doing the same thing that got you bad credit is not going to help you. All right. So you have to manage your bills. You have to manage your income. So you don't need to go out here. The first thing people do is when their credit gets good, is they go out and buy all of these things that they don't need.
The worst thing to do is go buy a car.
Yes.
And what happens is this is what we have learned, and this is through experience. When you go to a car dealership, they have several banks that they run your credit through. So you'd be surprised. You be coming home and you get letters in the mail, thank you, but at this time we cannot finance you. And you get like 10 of those in the mail, and you be like, but I went to one car dealership. But they got several lenders that they run that through. And that also takes your credit score, because every inquiry is anywhere from 2 to 5 points.
That's right.
So imagine if they ran it through 10 bankers and it's 2 points. That's 20 points that's going to drop your credit score
down.
So you could be ready to buy a home at 640, getting ready to close. But if you go try to buy a car at a major dealership and they run it, there go 20 points. There goes your close.
There goes your closing. Absolutely. All because you could not make a decision to put off what you want for what you need. And needs and wants are very different. And the last point we want to make to you is that you must have 3 good lines of credit. A car payment, a credit card, a student loan. It could be a gas card, a Walmart card, and a Kohl's card. It doesn't matter what it is, but you need to have 3 lines of credit. It could be a car payment or any of those things, but you need to have 3 strong lines of credit that report to all 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, so you can get the points that you need to boost your score. So a lot of times we don't have but 1 or 2 lines, but you need to have 3 revolving lines of credit. We are so excited about this show and all of the information that we're going to be able to impart and give to others. And at the end of the day, we want people to understand that the only difference between you now and you in the future is the decisions that you make. And so it's important that you make good decisions and that you understand that finances is not just finances, but every dollar you have has to have a job. Everything that you do when it comes to your money has to have purpose, and you have to have a plan around it. So we want you guys to give us a call if you need our services at 704-537-6500. Again, that's 704-537-6500. Our website is www.farrar, Farrar, credit services with an S.com, and please visit our website there. And if you need to send us an email address, it is farrarcreditservices@gmail.com. One thing that we did not discuss, Cliff, at the beginning of the show is all of the things that we offer at our organization. So I guess we could talk a little bit about that before we close. Yes. We do a variety of things, so I'll let you start off first, kind of addressing the couple things that we do, and then I'll add to the back of that.
Okay. Well, one of the major things, of course, we do is the credit enhancement program. We want to make sure we enhance your credit because we want to teach you and partner with you. This is a partnership. We are partners with you to help grow your credit because it's your credit. We want you to be a part of it. We want you to understand that it takes our skill, but it takes your will and it takes your discipline to be able to do that. The other thing we do offer is life insurance.
Yes.
We do offer that because that is legacy building. We want to make sure that you want to leave something for others to help them with a step up. And it's a huge thing, estate planning and legacy building, that you can help put somebody else in a whole nother level, whole nother stratosphere, where they can actually move up in life and just place your family and your loved ones in a better position. So the other thing is we would taxes where we help you to do taxes properly, tax planning, tax services. We make sure that you are well taken care of, that you know the ins and outs of taxes. So we want to make sure that we help you in all financial areas of your life.
Absolutely. So. And then one of the other things that we do too is we do budgeting and financial coaching, which is very important. Most people have more month than money, and that can in return be a lot of stress that's added on a household and a family. And then we do financial coaching where people come in and they get coaching for us of how they project their life 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now as it relates to their finances. And so I tell people all the time, coaching is important because sometimes it's not that we don't make enough money, it's just that we don't know what to do with the money that we make. So I tell people you can never solve money with the money. You can never think that money will solve a money problem. So most people think if I have a money problem, I need more money. That's not the case. If you have a money problem, you need a different mindset for what you do with the money that you have. So that's what that coaching is about. So we do, as Cliff said, credit restoration, taxes. We do life insurance. We do budgeting and financial planning. And we're going to have a show that's going to talk about each one of those areas in detail and be able to explain those things to you and how we can assist you. It has been great, you guys, tuning in today. We would like to thank Robin again for joining us. Robin, thank you for being our first guest. We appreciate that so much. We're so excited about that. Again, if you need any type of insurance, 29 days. Robin, can you give out that phone number one more time for us?
Yes, that's 704-970-9075.
Perfect. And if you need us for credit restoration, taxes, coaching, financial planning, life insurance, any of those things, please give us a call at 704-537-6500. Again, 704-537-6500. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next Thursday. Have a great one.